Dawn from Dawn Stamping Thoughts on YouTube. And what she did is she created a bay window fun fold card. So if you want to stop on over and check her out, that'd be awesome. I personally just wanted to hop on YouTube and start sharing some of the projects and just kind of getting the courage to put myself out there a little bit more. And so I wanted to start off with this. This was my take on her project, and I used Words of Cheer stamping set and die set. I also used Ohuhu markers to color it and add a little bit of little beads on them as well. This does lay flat, so you can put it in an envelope. I'm actually creating a bunch of these to give to people at work. And also I decided to make a box set full of this series of cards I'm making with Words of Cheer from Stamping Up. But if you open it up, you can put a little message on the inside. This right here is like a stopper. It's up on a foam dot, and it does fold up and is held right there, and it creates like a little window. So I'm gonna give it a whirl and show you guys how I made this. All the measurements and stuff I will list it in the description below, but you can write them down or follow along. So the first thing you need for your base is a piece cut at 4 1/4 by 11. We will eventually score this, and this is the base of our card. And then you need another piece, and this is where you can use designer paper here for the window panels, but I just went ahead and kept it white, and I stamped alongside of it. This piece is cut at 4 1/8 by 6. And then this piece is for the inside of our card. Actually, it's not, because it's bigger, huh? I'll have to remeasure that. Let me look real quick. This piece is 3 1/4 by 4 1/8. And I don't think I cut it down to 4 1/8. That's what I didn't do, I should say. Make sure. Apparently I didn't cut it down to 3. Apparently I didn't cut the piece of paper at all. So, there's that. Alrighty, so for the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to get all my pieces together so I don't lose them, is take, alright, so let's do this again. 3 1/8, and then 1 7/8, and then 3 5/8, which is right after the half mark, and then 5 1/8, which is right after the 5, and then 5 1/2, yeah, 5 1/2. I have my little cheat sheet over here to the left side of me. Now we want to take this and fold on your score lines, burnish it really good. Okay, so we have a piece that's literally folded in half with a score mark at 3/8, 1 7/8, 3 5/8. Hold on. It'd be easier if I go back this way. So 3/8, 1 7/8, 3 5/8, 5 1/2, and I'm missing one. Oh, 5 1/8 and then 5 1/2. Okay, so you're gonna fold it in half to where you have this little fold right here, and you're gonna take it and fold back on it like so, and you're gonna just squirt or apply some adhesive on it. You can use glue, you can use tape, whatever you fancy. And then just burnish it really good. And then this other small one, I want you to fold it up. Just fold it up and burnish it really good. So it's something like that. And that's where it's gonna sit and make your window. So what I want to do next is we're going to take our other white piece of cardstock or your designer paper that is cut at 4 1/8 by 6, and we're going to cut it into little pieces. Now, if you're doing what I'm doing, which is getting ready to stamp along here, like I did for this, I cut it and then I stamped it. The third time I've done this, I've left it like this and just cut it up. It's whatever you prefer to do. I'm going to use my stamparatus. And then we move it down. Stamp it again. Oh, wrong side. Not a biggie. Move it down again. Okay. And then take it over here and do the same exact thing. That's what I was trying to do earlier, but for whatever reason my brain was just not wanting to function with everything at once. So you'll have that. You can also heat emboss this too. I did it in another card, which is really pretty. And just take it and move it down. And there you go. And that's why I really love this stamparatus from Stampin' Up, because you can just take these off and move it how you need it to go on. Alright, those magnets are super strong. Alright, let's put this aside. It also, for those of you that don't know, it comes with a second one, like this. But I take it off so I can store it. Okay, now we're going to cut this down. Because I know I have limited space versus what I think I have when it comes to this video. Alright, so we're going to cut this at 1 3/8. There's my 1, there's my quarter. So the next line, so there's a quarter, your quarter line. And it's right before the 16th mark and the half mark. So that's 1 3/8, and then 1 5/8, which is right after the half, the next big line, and then 1 3/8 again, and the last mark, or the last piece, will be 1 5/8. And you just alternate them when you get ready to put them on your card, like so. I put the lid back on because I have a feeling I might get black everywhere. Okay, so here's our card. We're going to take our adhesive, and just line it up with the first panel. And then the next one. Which is that 1 3/8, 1 5/8, sorry. And then the next one's 1 3/8. And then you're going to take your last one, which is 1 5/8, and you're going to put it on the inside. At the bottom. I kind of just go back over them, burnish them a little bit more. Okay. So then the next piece we should do is our little sentiment that goes right here. I do it that little piece, there it is. And I'm actually going to use cherry cobbler, and the stamp is going to be trying to find my demo card. I will just pick one. Let's do, we're gonna do Sending You Christmas Cheer. And I'm just gonna take a regular block for that. Put this off to the side. Oh, I am so clumsy. And my little water towel. I forget what this is called, but I actually got it from Hobby Lobby. And it has been a game changer for me when it comes to cleaning my stamps off. Alright. We're just going to take this and try to line it up as best as I can without being over top of it. Okay. Not exactly centered, but that's fine. It's handmade. We're going to take this. Put it right on top of here. And then we need a foam dot, which I thought I had some. There they are. my little foam dots. Where did I get these little foam dots? I think I got them from Hobby Lobby. So what we're gonna do now, actually, is we're gonna take this little tab and we're gonna line it up right where the other panel comes in. We're gonna take where this empty white space is, or like right in the middle, is where I take and line up my first pop dot. And then what I do after that is I kind of go on the bottom and peel some more of these off. The top and the side. I'm just going to peel these off. Come on, you little fart. Alright. And then I just line it all up to where that catches right there. See, but it can still go down. And we'll put this guy, let me measure this real quick. Okay. Put this guy down. You can also write or stamp on it before you put it down. It doesn't really matter. Should be about quarter gap right here that I like to leave. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I do. Okay, so now all we got left is coloring. I'm gonna put this to the side. I have already stamped my image, just for time's sake. I also use Ohuhu markers because that's what I could afford when it comes to coloring right now, and they're not bad. I really like them. Eventually I would like to upgrade to the brush tip, but one thing at a time. Okay, so for the Ohuhu markers, if you have them, I got I think it was 180 of them or something along those lines, but for the red I'm using 4 and 11. The green I'm using 46 and 47, and then the other colors I have are 42 and 48, which are going to be for the little guys, and then 25 and 31, which will be for the little balls. So this might take, and I also like to leave a big enough space so that way I can make sure that I grab the colors that I intended to for my shading, or if I want to make it darker, I just make sure. So what I'm doing is probably not how everyone else does it, but I'm going to outline this just because that's what I prefer. Typically I go in with my lighter color to do the shades of the direction of, you know, where the sun comes per se when you're shading. But right now I just want to outline all this. If you don't want to stay and watch me color this, that is fine. The next step is literally just taking whatever image or whatever you want and placing it on the front of your card, and you will then be complete. Or I should say you should have a nice window bay card. Man, talking and coloring is a struggle. I see people color on here all the time and just talk about their day or ask questions. Me, my mind's going a mile a minute, like, am I in frame? Why am I so shaky? My coloring's all over the place. That's okay. Just want to get everything outlined. It feels like forever when you're doing this, but I don't know if that's just because I'm recording or it's probably just because I'm recording, because when I'm doing this by myself, I'm like, oh, that was really quick. These like to really blend really good too if you're using a good marker paper. Unfortunately, the paper I'm using is not a marker paper. It's just regular Staples white paper. But it still gets the job done. I'm not complaining at all. I really fell in love with these markers back when I first started messing around with the coloring. The only markers I knew at the time were actually the Prisma markers. I believe that's what they are, or were. I've tried Copic, and you know, you pay for what you get. Copic is the best, in my opinion. It really just depends on what you want to do. Like, the Prisma brand, it's good. It's decent, I should say. But I actually went to school, shockingly, for graphic design, and that's what they started us off at, was the Prisma. The colored pencils and markers. And they used to have us color on tracing paper. And that was just for marketing ideas. Like, we had to come up with a project of our own t-shirts, and then our own brand, like logo and stuff. It was fun. I was young and dumb, so I really didn't take it seriously as I probably should have. But now I work on electronics. Well, it did work. I took and went and decided to become an assembler. And so now I assemble electronics. I want to go back in here and touch these up real quick. They look goofy. Okay. Close those real quick. I really can color a little bit better than what I'm doing. I'm just in a rush because I'm nervous and I don't want you guys to sit here forever and get bored with me. Even if it reaches anybody, which I hope it does, just for fun, I guess. Am I going? Is this the dark? Yeah. So with this being my first video, you guys are more than welcome to criticize it however you feel like you need to. Or share your thoughts of the project. That is welcome too. I do like to, I get involved in swaps, and I also like to go to local crops and meet new people and retreats and stuff like that. That's actually how I got interested in Stampin' Up! I have a lovely friend that I met at a retreat, and she was working on her project, and it was a what do they call them, hummingbird, and the effect of it was like a watercolor effect, and I fell in love with Stampin' Up! After that. I'm not a huge watercolor person myself. In fact, I didn't really learn how to watercolor till recently, at least properly, I guess you could say. I never liked watercolor because it was so what in my terms, fainted. I like big and bold colors, or artwork I should say, and it always was just so light, and I just really never knew how to color with watercolors until now. I've even done gouache. That was different. I think my favorite medium I must say would probably be the oil pastels. I used to like colored pencils, but then markers came into play, and I like markers better than pencils. I know my shading's all over the place, it's okay. Not really putting too much thought in my coloring. There we go. And last but not least, this one I'm going to do outline too. Missing one, there it is. You guys probably hear the fish tank in the background running. One day my boyfriend decided to come home with a bass, and we've had him for about 6 months now. And then he goes to the pet store and bought an Oscar. Most random fish combo I have seen or owned. But we like our animals. I have a rabbit, 2 rabbits, a cat, and a dog. Shockingly, the dog's being really good right now. She's right by my feet. She's a little Frenchie. Alright, so now that's done, we're going to die cut that out. You really don't need to see this part because I assume all of you by now know what die cutting is, and if you don't, then leave me a message below and maybe it'll be another video I make. There it is. Sorry, I'm getting out the die cut. Gotta maneuver it around to get it just right. I was looking for tape, but I can't find the tape anywhere. The washi tape. When you go live, it seems like you can't find anything. Or not live, listen to me. When you go on YouTube and make a video, you can't find anything that you need in that time. I found the washi though. I stalled enough by talking too much that I found it. Alright. Put that through. I like my Vagabond too. I have the crank, I have this guy, and I have a Vagabond. Vagabond's really good if you don't like to crank a lot. And that's me. Although it's heavy to like hold around to travel around with. Alright, so that's cut. Wait, I want my paper. Alright, so now I need my dimensionals. Maybe if I can find them. If you guys could really see this desk, you'd be like, how can you find anything? There they are. They're not even over to this side. They're on the other side. So I just take a couple dimensionals and pop this up. See how it bled real bad back there? It's because it's not good paper for coloring. I normally use you know what? My mind's drawn a blank. We'll come back to that, or I'll list it down below. Okay. Alright. Trying to make sure I got them all. Okay. So now we're going to take this and place it however we seem fitting. Rule of thumb too is after you place this down, you might take some of those dimensionals back off, like I was just thinking. Like this one. And anything that's right here by this crease. This crease right here. There we go. Alright, I only wasted one dimensional. Alright, I'm gonna put it back on the sheet. And there you have it. You have your window. It's still attached to my finger. Alright. You have your window bay card. I thank you guys for taking the time and hanging out with me and dealing with all my errors, but it'll get better once I get more practice with being on here. And I want to say thanks again to Dawn with Dawn Stamping Up for this tutorial. Go check her channel out, and I will talk at you guys later. Bye.